Barcelona's golden prince, or football's greatest traitor. When Luis Figo returned to Camp Nou in a Real Madrid shirt, he expected the usual hostility, some boos, maybe a few whistles. Instead, Barcelona fans threw pig heads at him. The man who once kissed the Barcelona badge now found himself ducking flying bottles, while security feared for his life. Grown men wept in the stands, not from sadness, but from pure, visceral rage. 98,000 voices created a deafening wall of hatred that made grown security guards cover their ears. Just 18 months earlier, these same fans had been chanting his name, buying his jersey for their children, begging him to never leave. How does a player go from beloved hero to public enemy number one overnight? The answer lies in one phone call that ripped the heart out of football. July 2000. The month loyalty died. Barcelona's president Josep Lluís Núñez was notorious for refusing to pay his stars what they were worth. He'd already lost Brazilian Ronaldo after promising him a new contract, then backing out 5 days later. Stoichkov and Schuster gone for the same reason. When Figo wanted better terms, Núñez played hardball again. Then Florentino Perez called. Madrid didn't just make an offer, they triggered Figo's release clause. 62 million euros. Barcelona had no choice, no negotiation, no escape. While Núñez counted pennies, Perez offered double the salary, global superstardom, and the chance to become the first Galactico. Barcelona's presidential candidate Joan Gaspart desperately promised Figo everything if elected, but by then, it was too late. Figo had already signed a pre-contract with Madrid while still wearing Barcelona's shirt. While Barcelona fans slept peacefully, believing their prince would never leave, Figo was already gone. At the Santiago Bernabeu, 80,000 fans welcomed him like a conquering hero. His debut goal against Zaragoza sent the stadium into absolute delirium. Madrid had pulled off the impossible, stealing Barcelona's soul for 60 million euros. His return to Camp Nou? Pure, unfiltered hell. Banners reading traitor, Judas, and mercenary hung from every corner. Fans burned his jerseys in the streets like witch trials. But the real nightmare was still coming. As Figo prepared to take a corner kick, the sky turned black with flying objects. Coins, bottles, lighters, even a knife. Then came the moment that shocked the world. A severed pig's head landed just feet away. His own teammate, Michel Salgado, was so terrified he abandoned him. By the second or third corner, I turned to Figo and said, "Forget it, mate. You're on your own." Security tried their best, but nothing could protect him from 98,000 people who wanted to destroy him. Madrid won La Liga that season, with Figo pulling the strings. But his Barcelona legacy? Destroyed forever. Neymar, escaping greatness. Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. arrived at Barcelona as football's chosen heir, Messi's successor, the Brazilian magician destined to inherit the throne. Alongside Messi and Suarez, he formed the most devastating attacking trio in football history. MSN terrorized Europe, scoring 364 goals together. Neymar wasn't just a player, he was Barcelona's future. Then came August 3, 2017. PSG triggered his €222 million release clause, shattering every transfer record imaginable. The official reason? Neymar wanted to escape Messi's shadow and become the main character of his own story. Privately, Barcelona's financial constraints meant they couldn't match PSG's astronomical offer. The writing was on the wall. In Paris, Neymar became one of football's highest-paid players, earning €30 million annually. Initially, he was unstoppable, scoring 118 goals in 173 appearances, dominating League One with supernatural flair. But Champions League glory? That remained a cruel mirage. PSG's European failures became his personal nightmare. Blown leads, humiliating eliminations. Against Real Madrid, they led 1-0 until Karim Benzema scored a 17-minute hat-trick. Against Liverpool, they couldn't score a single goal across 2 legs. Bayern Munich beat them 1-0 in the final. Neymar's best chance at Champions League redemption, gone. Injuries became his shadow. His sister's birthday parties became memes. Drama followed him everywhere. Dressing room fights, referee confrontations, transfer windows where he begged to leave. When Messi joined PSG in 2021, the irony was complete. Neymar was still living in his shadow, just in a different city. His Barcelona legacy, the chance to become football's undisputed king, evaporated the moment he signed that PSG contract. Instead of inheriting greatness, he chose golden exile, where Champions League dreams died and only his bank account survived. Robin van Persie, the captain's betrayal. Robin van Persie spent 8 years bleeding for Arsenal. Through trophyless seasons, through Thierry Henry's departure, through the constant exodus of talent, Van Persie remained loyal. He was their captain, their talisman, the Dutch striker who finally found his scoring touch after years of injury hell. The 2011-12 season was Van Persie's masterpiece, 37 goals in all competitions, carrying Arsenal almost single-handedly. Fans worshipped him, his name echoed around Emirates Stadium like a prayer. Then came the bombshell, a long public statement announcing his departure. "I have had time to reflect on last season," he wrote, questioning Arsenal's ambition and direction. Manchester United moved swiftly. Sir Alex Ferguson convinced Van Persie that Old Trafford offered what Arsenal couldn't: immediate trophies. The transfer fee was £24 million, but the emotional cost was immeasurable. Arsenal fans felt stabbed in the heart by their own captain. At United, Van Persie's impact was immediate and devastating. He scored 26 Premier League goals, firing them to their 20th league title, Ferguson's final triumph. Then came November 10th, 2013. A corner kick at Old Trafford. Van Persie rose unmarked, powered a header into the far corner against his former club, and celebrated like he'd never worn an Arsenal shirt. Pure, unfiltered joy. No apology, no restraint. Arsenal fans watched in horror as their former captain treated them like strangers. Destroying his Arsenal legacy might have been worth it. Van Persie didn't just win a title, he completed Ferguson's final masterpiece, became an Old Trafford legend. When Ferguson retired 1 year later, Van Persie had already secured his place in United folklore. His Arsenal legacy crumbled, yes, but while Gunners fans burned his shirts, United fans were carving his name into Old Trafford history. Sometimes legends aren't born from loyalty. They're forged from the courage to burn bridges for building greatness. Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's return to Manchester United was supposed to be football's greatest redemption story. The academy graduate who left for free in 2012 came back as the world's most expensive player, €105 million paid to Juventus for their prodigal son. At Juventus, Pogba had flourished alongside Andrea Pirlo, winning 4 consecutive Serie A titles and reaching the 2015 Champions League final. He was elegant, powerful, creative, everything United desperately needed. His return felt like destiny correcting itself, but Old Trafford became Pogba's prison. Jose Mourinho arrived simultaneously, creating a toxic partnership. Their relationship turned from love to hatred overnight. "Once I had a great relationship with Mourinho," Pogba later revealed, "and the next day you don't know what happened. That's the strange thing I had with Mourinho, and I cannot explain to you because even I don't know." September 2018 marked the breaking point. Mourinho stripped him of vice-captaincy in front of the entire squad, telling Pogba he doesn't represent what a captain is. Their training ground confrontations became public spectacles. It started when Pogba went to Miami for injury rehabilitation against Mourinho's wishes. A paparazzi photo triggered a war that never ended. Pogba's performances became wildly inconsistent. Brilliant one week, invisible the next. Injuries plagued him constantly. Off-field drama never stopped. Social media controversies, agent Mino Raiola's inflammatory comments, constant transfer speculation linking him to Real Madrid and Barcelona. United fans grew frustrated. They'd expected leadership, consistency, match-winning performances. Instead, they got flashes of genius drowning in an ocean of mediocrity. Pogba became the scapegoat for United's post-Ferguson decline, unfairly blamed for systemic failures, yet unable to escape his own contradictions. His second departure in 2022 ended sourly. Another free transfer back to Juventus amid Old Trafford boos and fans' inability to appreciate true greatness, even if he had his shortcomings. His return to Juventus became even darker. just 12 appearances before the crushing blow, a doping ban. Originally 4 years, reduced to 18 months following an appeal in October 2024. Pogba wasted his second chance at United. At Juventus, injuries and bad choices, or just bad luck, tarnished everything. The boy who left Old Trafford with so much promise returned, only to become football's most expensive disappointment. Whether that was down to immense expectations or underperformance, we'll never truly know. But what we do know is that talent alone isn't enough when everything else falls apart. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard spent 7 seasons painting masterpieces at Stamford Bridge. Pure artistry, cutting through defences, scoring impossible goals, creating magic from nothing. Chelsea fans adored him unconditionally. 2 Premier League titles, countless individual awards, and moments of pure genius made him their modern legend. Real Madrid represented the ultimate destination, the dream move to football's most successful club. Los Blancos paid €100 million initially, potentially rising to €146 million with add-ons. For Hazard, it was career completion. For Chelsea fans, it was heartbreaking but understandable. At the Bernabeu, everything collapsed catastrophically. Hazard arrived overweight, unprofessional, seemingly unprepared for Madrid's intensity. Zinedine Zidane had personally requested his signing, believing he could recreate the magic. Instead, their relationship crumbled as injuries became Hazard's constant companion. Muscle problems, ankle fractures, setbacks that kept him sidelined for months. His statistics tell a horrifying story. 76 appearances across 4 seasons, 7 goals, 12 assists. Meanwhile, Madrid won 2 Champions League titles and La Liga, without Hazard contributing meaningfully. He became football's most expensive spectator, earning €400,000 weekly while watching teammates achieve glory he dreamed of sharing. Comparisons to previous Galactico failures stung deeply. Madrid fans expected brilliance but witnessed decline. His confidence evaporated completely. By 2023, his relationship with Carlo Ancelotti had completely broken down. They stopped talking entirely. Training ground footage showed a player who'd lost his spark, his joy, his identity. Hazard's Chelsea legacy remained intact. Fans still sang his name lovingly, but his global reputation crumbled. The dream move destroyed his status as one of Europe's elite players. At least Real Madrid can take comfort in one small victory. They successfully avoided paying those €46 million in add-ons. Mario Balotelli's steady decline. Mario Balotelli had the physical gifts of a football god, but a brain cursed by his own demons. Picture this: you're 20 years old, earning millions, playing for Manchester City, and you're so bored that you set off industrial fireworks in your own bathroom. That's Mario Balotelli, a man who could bulldoze through defenses with raw power, but couldn't control his own self-destructive urges. His talent was otherworldly. That thunderbolt against Germany in Euro 2012 semi-final, the title-clinching goal that gave City their first Premier League crown. His strength made defenders look like children. His finishing was surgical when his head was right. But here's what made Balotelli terrifying and tragic. Every moment of brilliance came with a countdown timer to chaos. The stories sound fictional, but they're real. Throwing darts at teenage teammates, getting lifetime bans from every casino in Manchester, driving a Bentley to training without a license, then arguing with police about it, fighting his own teammates during practice sessions. Roberto Mancini treated him like a son. Coaches across Europe tried everything: therapy, tough love, second chances. Nothing worked. Each new club thought they'd be different. Liverpool lasted 6 months before giving up. Nice showed promise, then imploded spectacularly. Marseille couldn't wait to terminate his contract. Balotelli didn't destroy his legacy with one catastrophic moment. He bled it to death slowly, transfer by transfer, tantrum by tantrum, until wasted potential became his permanent nickname. A generational talent who proved that in football, your worst enemy isn't the opposition, it's the person staring back at you in the mirror. Ronaldinho. When the lights go out, Ronaldinho wasn't just a footballer, he was pure joy wrapped in human form. At Barcelona, his smile illuminated stadiums, his tricks defied physics, his free kicks bent reality itself. Real Madrid fans applauded him at the Bernabeu, the ultimate mark of respect. Between 2003 and 2006, Ronaldinho redefined football's boundaries. 2 FIFA World Player of the Year awards, Champions League glory, countless magical moments that made children fall in love with the sport. He wasn't just Barcelona's best player, he was football's ambassador to the world. But Barcelona's dressing room harbored dark secrets. Ronaldinho's legendary partying became problematic. Stories emerged of late-night adventures, missed training sessions, and declining fitness levels. His famous smile masked growing unprofessionalism. Pep Guardiola's arrival in 2008 changed everything. The new coach valued discipline over flair, system over individualism. Ronaldinho didn't fit his philosophy. Milan offered around €25 million for a 28-year-old whose best years should have been ahead of him. At San Siro, glimpses of magic remained. Stunning goals, moments of inspiration that reminded everyone of his genius. But consistency vanished. His body couldn't handle the intensity anymore. Injuries mounted. His decline accelerated mercilessly. Brazil's 2010 World Cup squad omitted him, unthinkable just 4 years earlier. His international career ended not with glory, but with regret. Ronaldinho's legacy survived because his peak was so spectacular, but he'll forever carry the burden of what if? What if he'd maintained discipline and the hunger for greatness? Wayne Rooney, the request that hurt. Wayne Rooney was Manchester United's heartbeat, a snarling, passionate warrior who embodied everything the club represented. From his explosive hat-trick debut against Fenerbahce to becoming their all-time leading scorer, Rooney seemed destined for Old Trafford immortality. Then came October 19, 2010, the day that shattered everything. With United struggling and contract talks dragging, Rooney released a statement that felt like a dagger through the heart of Old Trafford. He wanted out. But this wasn't just any transfer request. Rooney questioned United's ambition, their transfer policy, their very soul under the Glazers. He wasn't just leaving. He was publicly humiliating the club that made him a superstar. The betrayal cut deeper because of the timing. United were vulnerable, fans were already angry with the owners, and their talisman chose that moment to twist the knife. The Stretford end, the same fans who chanted his name for 6 years, burned his shirt in the streets. Sir Alex Ferguson, the man who rarely begged anyone, fought desperately to keep him. Private meetings turned emotional, public statements became pleas. The club broke their wage structure, offering a reported £250,000 weekly, astronomical money that made him their highest-paid player ever. Rooney stayed, signed the contract, smiled for the cameras. But something irreplaceable had died. Statistically, Rooney's legacy survived. 253 goals, 5 Premier League titles, legendary moments. But emotionally, many United fans never forgave the day their warrior became a mercenary. Zinedine Zidane, going out with a headbang. Zinedine Zidane's career read like poetry. 3 FIFA World Player Awards, Champions League glory with Real Madrid, World Cup triumph with France in 1998. He was football's most elegant conductor, orchestrating symphonies with both feet. Berlin's Olympiastadion, July 9, 2006, was supposed to be his coronation, the perfect farewell. World Cup glory in his final professional match. France faced Italy in the ultimate showdown. Zidane opened the scoring with a cheeky Panenka penalty, vintage artistry under the world's biggest spotlight. Then, Marco Materazzi whispered something poisonous in the 110th minute. The exact words remain disputed, but their effect was nuclear. The French maestro, usually untouchable in his composure, detonated catastrophically. His headbutt to Materazzi's chest became football's most shocking goodbye. The red card meant Zidane walked past the World Cup trophy with his head bowed, creating the most haunting image in football history. France crumbled in penalties. David Trezeguet's miss sealed their fate, while their captain watched helplessly from the tunnel. Zidane's final act wasn't a graceful bow. It was self-destruction on sport's biggest stage. His legacy survived because greatness forgives even the unforgivable. But that headbutt proved that legends bleed just like mortals. One moment of madness can stain a lifetime of perfection. These stories prove football legacy is fragile, built over decades, shattered in seconds. Each player faced their crossroads and chose destruction over glory. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for the football stories everyone's obsessing over, but no one dares to tell.